Tenakoto katua. Welcome to Kōrero with Vaishali, where everyone comes to love, laugh, live the moment and inspires all to live our life in its authentic way. So today we are on Kōrero with Vaishali, elections for the throne for Hamilton. So who we have? Today we have someone that you've been asking. So who that is? I know you would like to know. So let me reveal it. Today we have Graeme Mead, who is standing for Hamilton West. So what his campaign says? His campaign says, honesty, committed, skilled community advocate who focuses on financial transparency and focusing on the results, not the reports. So let's find out what is the best he's planning to bring for Hamilton. Shall we welcome him? So let's welcome Graeme Mead for Hamilton West. Welcome to Kōrero with Vaishali.
Thank you for having me this morning. It's a privilege to be here.
Oh, thank you. It's my privilege to have you on Kōrero with Vaishali and talk about what's that best you're planning to bring for our people. So first thing first, I guess, could you please tell us about yourself, professional life, personal life, and how you got into this? What inspired you?
I was born in Raglan on a farm at Waitituna on the way to Raglan, so the youngest of four. Schooled at a very small school at Waitituna and then joined Fraser High School. 1974, I met a young lady who's now still my wife.
Oh, no.
So we met at school and we've sort of been around, hanging around each other 50 odd years. It's really nice. So for me, family's important. We've lived in Dinsdale and around the area throughout our married life. She was a Dinsdale girl as well. So Dinsdale and Hamilton West's our home and will always be our home. It's a city I love. It's
nice.
I'm passionate about it. It's where my life is. It's where my work is. It's all those sorts of things. So yeah, from a personal perspective, I love being around the west side of Hamilton. Work-wise, my trade, if we go back far enough, is an automotive engineer, which is a mechanic. So I've trained as a mechanic, and from there, throughout my life, I've worked my way into ending up running national businesses, national managers, national sales managers. I've run charities. I've ended up in a lot of management roles.
Nice.
Just by hard work and discipline, and yeah, we made some mistakes along the way. You don't get everything right.
Yeah, we all do. We are humans.
Yeah, every day you've got to learn something, which what I've done, and now I formed Dinsdale Community Action Group with Rex Peterson about 7 or 8 years ago because we felt Dinsdale was getting left out. The west side of Hamilton was forgotten. So we became a little bit political and activist with the council, saying we'd like some pedestrian crossings, we'd like some rubbish bins, we'd like some road markings, and we got some traction with that. We managed to do some of that, and at that stage I was asked to stand for council 2 elections ago, and I said no, not me. And the same again last election, and this one my wife said to me, if we get to December and you haven't stood, will you have a regret? And I said, yes, I would. So here we are. I went and talked to a few people, and they said, go on, stand for us, will you, because you work for us. Well, that's a pretty cool thing to have.
Oh, that's great. So basically you started helping people and they thought, okay, you should be the leader now.
A little bit of that, yes.
Kind of story, right? That's great. Inspiring one. Thank you. Yeah, that was my next question, but I think I put them all together. So thanks. What challenges do you think Hamilton is facing at the moment? Have you got any strategies around to minimize all those problems?
I think the big thing is people look at their rates bill and say, how can we save rates? Well, rates are a cost. So a control of costs is the first thing to look at. I've done a lot of official information requests and found a lot of cost things that I look at and go, is that right? If so, show me all the budget so I can see that it's right. Or are we getting a fair crack at what we pay for things? Because most people seem to think we're paying for too much. And if you pay too much for stuff, it's got to be handed on. If you have a business and your business building, your rates are 3 times what a house owner's is. So for you to cover your costs and stay in business, what do you got to do? You've got to put your prices up. You've got to retain a business margin. So if everybody's prices are going up, the person at the end pays, and that's you and me. We pay the end debt. So for me, I just want to get a little bit of transparency. I'd like to see where our costs are going and get a handle. I'm not going to promise anything that I can't see. I'm very much hands-on. What does that cost and how does it get there? So yeah, I'm probably going to be a bit of a pest, but I want to see how things are costed.
Great, that's a good one. All right. So how will you address housing affordability in Hamilton, and what actions do you think you would be taking?
That's a real challenging question, given that the land in most cases is owned by private developers. The council's involvement are development costs and connections to lines and pumps and all those sorts of things. And I'm talking to developers and they're saying that's a little bit out of control. And then on the other side, we've got a real monopoly in supply of things for building houses. Again, council can't control that. We send timber off overseas and it comes back remanufactured and we pay more for it. Our housing costs in New Zealand, though, are way above those of the rest of the world. Now the question is why? Now, does council have some land we could use to make affordable housing? It probably does. So can we look at some of the land that council owns, and then can we invest in a building program where we're building good quality houses with the right results? And we've got to look at those things. It's worked well in Brisbane and different places where they've done apartment style buildings, but the infrastructure was there with shops and traffic and buses and access before they started building. We tend to build something and say, how are we going to get there? That's the planning. Start at the beginning. What do we need?
So need a good big plan.
Yeah, we need to talk about things before we rush in and do them. Too often the council's stamping okay at the end of the journey. You get a ticket at the start.
So you're saying that we are just acting without planning thoroughly?
Yeah, in a lot of cases we are. We've been spending money without a lot of planning around it. We use a lot of consultants. We use a lot of costs where we could sit down and say, Rifle Range Road still bugs me, and they've said we didn't do everything at the beginning, and now we're digging it up again.
That's just an example,
Yeah.
No, great, thank you. I think my next question might be something related to what you're all talking about. So is there any room for rates to be reduced? What are your thoughts on?
Rates should be managed, and they can be managed. If there's other councils around the country who are managing rates, but to manage your rates, you've got to look at what your costs are. We don't have an income problem at Hamilton City Council. There's enough money coming in. There's just a bit much going out. So there's more going out than coming in. So the debt's rising. And I think there is. But to do that, we've got to have a really good visible look at what we're spending. Is everything we're spending necessary? And are we getting a return on the investments that we've got out in the market?
Sorry, I'm not sure if I heard that right. So did you say we have enough revenue coming in?
I think so.
I
think there's enough revenue coming in. There's just too much going out.
So do you think we need to increase our revenue options?
No, I think we reduce our
just
spending.
Need to be managed
our spending. Because for me, you say, my job brings this much income in, and I'm going to spend that much. Now, can you increase your revenue tomorrow to meet that? Probably not. So what are you going to do is say, we'll go without this to make sure I'm underneath my budget revenue. And that's a household thing as much as a council thing.
Basics, great, thank you. That's really deep, thanks. So next one, what initiatives will you introduce to promote environmental sustainability in Hamilton?
Sorry, what was that one?
Environmental sustainability.
Environment sustainability. There's a lot of things we can do. For me, of growing up on a farm, grass, green, trees, environment is exceptionally important to me.
Nice.
We've got to do things right. We've got to do things carefully. If we're going to plant trees, let's make sure we plant them in the right place, in the right way, and in the right areas with the right trees. If we're going to deal with wastewater, if we're going to deal with rubbish, let's have a look at how they're getting dealt with. There's a lot of things, we're a little country, but there's a lot of things overseas that we can take ideas from and use here. And I don't think burying all our waste in a big pit north of Hamilton's the right way to go.
Great, thank you. Okay. All right, next one is, I seek your thoughts on infrastructure investments, you mentioned earlier as well. So what different you want to give to Hamilton and how you're going to implement, including rifle range roadworks and lot other unnecessary spendings that you think that is not necessary, that can be avoided and money can be saved and used on the good projects. So
yeah, look, definitely can. If you look at Rifle Range Road, I think the scary thing is there was $433,000 worth of traffic management costs. That's road cones. You go down to Commerce Street and Lake Road intersection down there, there's some raised bumps, 4 pedestrian crossings, a tight pedestrian crossing with a big hump in the middle. That was $1.2 million and the buses still have to drive across the top of it. I've done a little bit of looking around and seeing what they're doing overseas. Raised platforms are okay, but I think we come back to driver education. We come back to how things are put together. All around the world since about 2016, they've been using 3D designed pedestrian crossings. So when you drive up to them, they look like they're raised. And a visual thing to slow people down, right on top of a roundabout with give way signs, and then the buses are parked on the pedestrian crossing. Common sense tells me something's wrong. I've got a custom coming out in the next week. I think I can do a pedestrian crossing, excluding consultants' fees and a whole lot of other things, for around a roundabout like that, for around about $35,000.
Okay.
With some paint and some signs. We could try it. We could try it.
Yes, definitely we can. Yes. Okay. No, that's great. Thank you. Okay. Do you think already we jumped into this public transportation, but do you think the existing public transportation is efficient, or do we need to make some major changes so we are ready for the future, as Hamilton is the fastest growing city at the moment?
Does the buses fit us? No. Most of them are empty. The routes don't fit. They are charging around the town I've got that information from another official information request from Environment Waikato of Regional Council, and the buses aren't full, and they're changing routes to try and fit to get more people on the bus. We've got a very spread city. Hamilton's far and wide and long and narrow. You go back 30 years, there was talk about how we should manage our infrastructure to get bus routes and all those sorts of things working. Look at other cities that have grown, and Auckland's got the same problem we have. You're probably not old enough to remember Sir Dovemeyer Robinson, and he said, let's put a monorail right around Auckland years ago, and they said no. It probably would have worked. But we have a big widespread city, and we've got a river that goes down the middle.
Yes.
And we've got bridges that are probably inefficient at travelling across. So I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. But we've somehow got to figure out what can be the answer. And are we doing enough planning, talking and discussing about it? We probably are. But we need to sit down and say, what do the residents want? Too often we say, no, the residents want this. Well, have we been and asked them? And that's what I've done in Dinsdale over a lot of years. We sit down in the coffee shop and have a yarn and say, what do you actually see that you need changing? And they're the people who pay the rate, so we should be engaging with them in a deeper fashion on this. It's not a win-win for anyone at the moment.
Okay, so there can be a lot of changes can be made. Everyone needs to sit down and talk about and bring something better.
Yeah, and it's not just pedestrians or cyclists or scooters or cars or trucks or whatever it might be. That's everybody. We've got to look at our community. How do your kids get to school safely? How do you park outside most schools around Hamilton at 8:45, The cars are a shambles because we like to park close. But I don't know. It's there's a lot of work that needs to be done in it.
Okay. Great, thank you. Hopefully, if you get elected, you work on that project and make it practical for everyone.
We've got to do something.
Definitely, we got to do something. Thank you. What measures will you take to reduce the homelessness and provide support for those in need?
We go back enough years. I used to work with the Salvation Army every week, and we used to do the Thursday night body and soul meetings on London Street, and we'd feed probably 100, 150 people with a few people from there. And I did that 5 or 6 years, plus also worked in prison rehab and streets. Did some work in Melbourne on the streets with the heroin addicts for a month.
Oh, okay.
Just to try and figure out what goes on in the world. So a lot of the people that are on the streets have been there for years. It's not just a council problem, it's a central government problem, and it's also a community problem. Now, some of them are quite happy living on the streets. That's where they want to be. They've been there for a lot. Some aren't. But it's a social thing to say, what do they want as much as what does we want? Because people say, yeah, let's get them out of town. So they've ended up around the suburbs. Are there some of the groups that are going around that are perhaps organised and moving from shopping centre to shopping centre to shopping centre? There might be.
Okay.
But it's an issue that we can't just fix by saying we uplift them and take them somewhere, or we do push them to the suburbs. It's a real social problem at the moment, and I've spoken to the MPs about it. I've spent some time with Tama Potaka and some others saying, look, this is a you and us problem, and there's got to be a solution. I'd love to say, here's a house, let's put them in. But that's not the solution, it's more than that. Where can we find some work? Where can we find something sustainable for them to do? Where can we give a reason to get up in the morning?
True. Great, thank you. How will you support mental health services and addiction recovery programs in the city?
Have to. We just have to. There's addicts everywhere. You don't know who's an addict sometimes. And I think that being in Melbourne showed me that when you walked around a corner and there was a person in torn clothes next to a person in a suit, and they were both enjoying the thrill of drugs. It's very difficult to tell who is addicted, who's not. And it's not just drugs, it's alcohol, there's gambling, there's a lot of addictions people have. We've just got to make sure that all the services are working on a common goal. You know, sometimes we set up too many companies and there might be 9 addiction service options. Can we make them better by making one? Could the council be running that and managing it? Could we, central government council, be running these things? Not to say that they're not doing a good job, but how can we support them to ensure they are doing a good job? Because addictions, whatever they are horrible things to break. They really are. And especially mental health.
Yes.
We as men are bulletproof. We like to say, not us. Everyone suffers from mental health problems in some way. Sometimes they don't realise it. And you know, I've had my share of challenges during my life.
Yes.
Some setbacks that have really knocked you for 6, but you get up the next day and say, look, I'm happy to be alive. And
Yes, need to find the purpose.
And that's probably when you said to me before, how come you're so busy? That's why.
Good one. Even as I had mentioned earlier, since 2022, when I lost my mother, I think I found this purpose, and that's how I get onto this. I try to help as many people as I can. That keeps me happy. So that is another way of, so need to find the purpose and be busy.
You did right. If you haven't got a purpose to get up in the morning,
life is hard.
It is.
Great, thank you. All right, how would you support local small businesses to grow? Do you have any plans?
Depends on the business, but for me, the City Council should be spending as much money as they can in businesses that are located in Hamilton. Because if your business is a small business and you're able to supply the council, your business may grow, you may employ more people, you may give them more chances to live and spend money and pay rates in Hamilton. Empty sections don't give you much income.
Oh, that is true.
It's those sorts of things. I think we need to spend money in town. People say, it's the old Ministry of Works thing. Do we need to run our own workshops again? do we need to employ staff in the council who are local? They're here spending their money in Hamilton. And we've got to look at a lot of those things. We've got to invest back into our city and our people to make sure our city and our people grow. If we keep sending money that our rates are paying out of town, it's not helping our town. I'd rather pay 5% more for something and ensure that a business in Hamilton survives than pay 5% less and make somebody in another city wealthy.
Okay, so basics, stay local.
If we can, as much as we can, stay local.
Okay.
Do things local, make them involved and part of our community. Yes, we have big businesses and they're tough from all over the world. We've got some brilliant local businesses here who are world leaders, who are locally based, and are big, and they're huge.
Okay.
We look after them.
Great. So if you're elected, you will be starting from council itself, using local talent to get all the jobs done around Hamilton.
If I can, and that's the transparency thing that we started about at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Who are we spending it with? Why are we spending it there? Do our staff need more training, so instead of consultant, we can give it to our staff because they live here?
Yes. Great, thank you. All right. On this, today we don't have audience questions. Instead, we have one question for you, which is a speedy answer maybe. So what are the top 3 things in Hamilton? What are the top 3 things Hamilton needs right now?
It needs a governance team around the table with a raft of skills.
Okay.
So we need people who have financial expertise. We need people who have legal expertise. We need people who have business expertise, and also people who understand what it's like to work on the ground, around the streets, around the community, and understand what's going on. I'm hoping I'm one of those people with the community expertise and the business expertise to make a difference. But for me, we need a change in the council table, and it's not knocking what's been happening, it's just the fact we've had a majority voting system where things have been done even in opposition, and people are saying, no, we don't want that. We've stood in front of them and presented and said, no, we don't want this, and it's still gone ahead. So a councillor's job's to listen to the community. The community puts you there, so you have a right and a need to listen to what they want. And you can have all sorts of different ideas and people talking to you, but you've got to look at what the majority of the people would like. And if the majority of the people say, don't do it, we've got to listen to that or find out a really good consultation process with them to say, this is why we're doing it. We're not doing enough of that. We're just rubber stamping stuff and say, spend, spend, spend. And now we're in the position of all that money getting spent on your speed humps and your road calming and all that. There's no budget for maintenance of it. So now some of those things are failing, and the council doesn't have a budget to fix them. So, yeah, that bugs me a little bit.
Okay, thank you. All right. What would you do if you are given 1 million grant right now? What would you use it on?
1 million grant right now. I'd go and pull all the speed humps out.
Are they bugging you that much?
Yes. Well, as a mechanic, they wreck cars. Your car's suspension's going to reduce its life between 20 and 40% by hitting speed humps. A lot of the speed humps we've got around Hamilton aren't even for roads. They're actually for car parks. They've got the wrong bolts holding them down and they're all lifting up.
Okay.
So for me, I'd do what Wanganui did. I'd run around town with $1 million. I'd call a working bee. We'd have a barbecue at every site and we'll pull the speed humps out. How about that? We'll have a working bee. I'll provide the sausages and the steak and the community can come up and we'll take them out. But yeah, they're necessary, but they've been poorly planned, organised, and they were done in a rush. So, and that's part of the traffic movement of us getting around town.
Oh, you reckon congestion will...
How much do you like speed humps? Do you like hitting them in your car?
That's a good question.
Do you like hitting them in your car?
I hit once a while on it, actually.
And,
let me be honest.
and most people are like that because there's speed humps, pedestrian crossing and a roundabout. And the bus parks across the pedestrian crossing, so you can't cross. It's for me.
I like your idea of 3D option.
We've got to try it. We've got to try things that are different because we can't keep spending $750,000 on a pedestrian crossing.
True.
$750,000 on a. I'm off to Bunnings to get some paint. We've got to be realistic about what's cost effective and what's cost controlled. And
Okay, great. Thank you, Graeme. It's been really great pleasure to talking to you and knowing what's the best you would like to bring around Hamilton and what difference you wish to make. So I would like to ask if you have anything for the audience or any message you want to pass on to them.
Look, for me, I can't do anything to change council right now. I have no way of changing it today. But if you're prepared to vote for me and put me on council, that's where I can bring in that change. And I've got some great people around me who are standing with me who have some of the skills I don't. Somebody from finance, that's Mark Flyger, there's Mesh McDonald who's a lawyer, there's Mike West who's an engineer, and myself, and we're all in Hamilton West together and working hard because we believe we can bring something to the table that can change where we currently are. We won't be perfect, we can't change it tomorrow, but we're here for the community, we're here to make sure that you're listened to. And for me, my community is Hamilton, it is Dinsdale, it is Hamilton West, and I love the place and I'll do anything I can to make it just a little bit better. Thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate being asked to do this. It's pretty special to stand for council.
I can feel that, the love for your community you've been showing and you've been talking about, definitely, because you were suggested by your community to stand up for elections, so definitely that speaks up for itself. I don't have to say much. It's been really privileged to have you here and hear about your stories and your plans and your community work that you've been doing. That's great. Thank you so much. Keep doing the best. And I wish you good luck. Thanks for coming on board. And yes, wonderful people, please, doesn't matter whom you vote, please vote. Check everyone's campaigns and see what they're trying to bring for Hamiltons and what they're trying to bring the best for our city, for our people. Check it out and please do vote. Thank you. See you again.